President Zelensky was in the White House today and had a real chance to sign an economic agreement that would have been great for the American people to recoup our tax dollars.
The media landscape just got rocked with one of the most jaw-dropping scandals of the year. And trust me, this one's got drama, backstabbing, and legal threats that have the entire TV world on edge. We're talking about none other than The View, the show that's been shaking things up for years with its heated debates and outspoken hosts. But in the latest twist, Joy Behar, one of the OGs of daytime TV, has been forced out. And it's all thanks to one rising star, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
That's right. The $800 million lawsuit filed by Leavitt, Trump's youngest ever White House press secretary, has hit The View hard. In a twist that no one saw coming, Leavitt's legal pressure has triggered chaos, fear, and panic behind the scenes, ultimately forcing ABC's hand. But how did we get here? What led to Joy Behar's fall from grace? And will The View ever be the same? Buckle up, because this is about to get messy, and the details are hotter than ever.
And so the president is not asking Ukraine to recognize Crimea. Nobody has asked them to do that. What he is asking is for people to come to the negotiating table.
It all started when Joy Behar took a cheap shot at Karoline Leavitt during an episode of The View. Now, we all know Joy can be a little fiery, but this time she went too far. While discussing Leavitt's appointment as the youngest ever White House press secretary, Joy dismissed her credentials, suggesting that her appointment was based on looks, not qualifications. Let that sink in. A veteran journalist on national TV reduced Leavitt to nothing more than eye candy. That comment didn't just ruffle feathers, it exploded on social media. Leavitt, at just 27 years old, has an impressive resume, including roles in high-profile Republican campaigns and working in the Trump administration. Yet, Joy Behar decided to completely disrespect her by focusing on her appearance rather than her skills and experience.
One of the biggest issues of the last presidential campaign was reforming our immigration system.
And if you thought the reaction was just a small blip in the day's news cycle, think again. This was huge. Fans of the show, critics, and media personalities all called out Joy for the hypocrisy, especially given The View's supposed mission to empower women and celebrate their achievements. One Twitter user summed it up perfectly. If a Republican said anything remotely like that, they'd be crucified.
The important legislation passed the committee with bipartisan support. And as you may remember, the president talked about this bill in his address to a joint session of Congress last month.
Now, here's where the plot thickens. Karoline Leavitt wasn't about to let this slide. Instead of making some PR statement or passively tweeting about the incident, she did something none of us expected. She called her lawyers. In days, the bombshell dropped. An $800 million defamation lawsuit aimed squarely at Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and ABC itself. You thought this was just another media dust-up. Think again. This lawsuit wasn't just about a few hurt feelings. It was a full-on attack on the way conservative women are often diminished and disrespected in the media. The lawsuit went deep, accusing The View of malicious defamation, character assassination, and intentionally targeting Leavitt as a way to discredit her. The legal team even pulled clips of past The View episodes, citing word-for-word receipts from their on-air conversations. The lawsuit was like dropping a nuclear bomb on the set of The View, and the aftermath wasn't pretty.
No travel plans at this time. Doesn't mean it's not happening. I just don't have anything to share. But the president, of course, is aware of the passing of the Pope and did put out a statement.
Here's where it gets really interesting. As Karoline's lawsuit started making headlines, ABC's top executives were put in a serious bind. The network wasn't just facing a PR disaster, they were dealing with a legally explosive situation that could drag out for years. According to sources inside the network, ABC execs were in full-blown crisis mode. Emergency meetings, panicked phone calls, and damage control strategies were launched behind the scenes. And here's where the real tension begins. ABC was forced to make a decision. Should they publicly apologize, suspend Joy Behar, or just go for the nuclear option and cut ties with her altogether? You can imagine the dilemma. Behar has been a staple on The View for over 2 decades, but now her comments were not only being criticised, but they were also being challenged in court.
The president has already signed 73 executive orders. That is more than double the number signed by Joe Biden.
The question became, how do you handle someone as outspoken as Joy Behar, especially when her actions could bring down the network? Some insiders claim that ABC knew this was a firestorm they couldn't contain. Behar has stirred up controversy before, but this time it was different. The lawsuit wasn't just a tabloid headline, it was a legal battle with serious consequences for ABC's bottom line. And just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any more intense, Joy Behar was officially ousted from The View. The announcement came shortly after Leavitt filed the defamation lawsuit, leading many to believe that this wasn't Behar's choice. Sources within the network claimed that ABC executives had pushed her out, fearing that her continued presence on the show would only escalate the crisis.
That this man needs is a psychological issue. I mean, Roman emperors didn't need this much ring kissing.
Yeah.
Everyone has to love him.
As you might expect, the reactions to Joy Behar's departure were all over the place. Some fans were celebrating the move, arguing that it was about time someone faced consequences for disrespecting a young woman who has worked hard to get where she is. One user wrote, "Maybe they need to cancel ABC Network that would fix all of the problems." And another said, "I can't understand why that particular show is still on the air."
Countries are falling over themselves to reform their unfair trade practices and free open their markets to our country.
On the other hand, some loyal fans of The View expressed outrage, feeling that Behar's removal was politically motivated. They argued that Behar had been unfairly targeted, and that her departure was the result of media pressure from the right wing. Still, it's clear that the backlash surrounding her exit has put the show in a very precarious position. Can The View survive without its most iconic host? Meanwhile, Karoline Leavitt is making waves. This lawsuit has not only amplified her profile, but it's also positioned her as a serious force in the political world. At just 27, Leavitt has already built a career as a communications director for top Republican campaigns, worked in Trump's administration, and even managed to balance the duties of being a new mother. She didn't just sit back and take it. She used this controversy to build momentum around her career.
Tariffs are a tax hike on foreign countries that again have been ripping us off. Tariffs are a tax cut for the American people.
And let's not forget, Leavitt hasn't backed down. She's been poised, confident, and unwavering in the face of the media circus she's now the center of. In interviews, she called Behar's comments not only sexist but unprofessional, and she made it clear that she wouldn't let anyone diminish her hard-earned success. Her message? You don't get to attack me personally just because I hold different views than you.
You have Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick, Ambassador Greer, NEC Director Hassett, and Peter Navarro, the entire trade team.
Now, the big question, will The View be able to recover from this scandal? With Joy Behar gone and the $800 million lawsuit still hanging over ABC's head, the network's future is hanging in the balance. The internal divisions at The View are palpable, with Alyssa Farah-Griffin reportedly pushing for a more balanced approach to politics on the show, while Behar and Whoopi Goldberg double down on their controversial remarks. Could this be the end of The View as we know it? The fallout from Behar's exit and Leavitt's legal battle has already shaken the foundation of the program, and it's unclear whether the network can patch things up before it's too late.
Makes it sound like America's for sale to the highest bidder. I don't like that. But what I will say, this is actually basically an expansion on the existing EB-5 visa program.
The battle isn't over yet. Public trust in the mainstream media is at an all-time low. And this scandal may be the final straw for many viewers who are fed up with the polarized rhetoric that shows like The View have come to represent. So, what do you think? Did ABC make the right move by cutting ties with Joy Behar? Or was she unfairly pushed out? And as Karoline Leavitt continues to rise in the political arena, will her $800 million lawsuit be the beginning of a new era in political discourse, or just another media spectacle? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this ongoing media firestorm. Trust me, things are just getting started, And you won't want to miss the next twist in this drama. Stay tuned.